Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go.
What? Oh, I didn't know you was actually going to hit play when I told you to hit play.
Well, I actually hit record.
Ah, I understand. This is the Board Game Snobs podcast. And I'm not, where's my headphones? Did you not hook up headphones for this one?
We don't need headphones.
I like it.
Like to hear the sound of your own voice?
Yes. Well, no, I like it because it drowns out all the other crap going on in the background.
Well, that's more stuff I gotta hook up.
This is the only podcast that you need to listen to for hot board game topical banter.
Banter segment. Engage.
I'm tired.
Well, you're tired because you spent all your time doing what you
Frolicking.
You're not tired. What have you done?
I've done lots of stuff.
What have you done?
I've been very social. I've been outside a lot, moving around. Those are things I don't normally do.
I hate it when people say they're tired.
I am tired. You can't judge me how I'm tired I am.
I'm not.
You don't know my tired degree.
I'm not validating your feelings.
You don't know my tiredness. You're you the only person that can claim to be tired?
Yes, I'm one of those people. Do you do that? Am I the only person that does that?
No, I'm sure you're not. You're one of those people that's like, you can't do this as much as I have.
Yes, I am that person. When
I know.
When you come in and you say, I'm tired, I have to go, you're not as tired as I. Or I've done... No, you haven't. You
haven't worked as much as me.
No, you haven't. That's me. I like that about myself.
I mean, that's good.
That is.
It's a quality of yours, so you might as well... what do they call that?
Are there any negative qualities about yourself that you enjoy?
What about alcoholism?
You don't enjoy that.
In the moment. That's when I wake up with a biting headache. Just kidding. I don't go that far.
I was trying to think of any other negative things that I enjoy about myself.
You pretty much like everything about yourself.
I do. Like I am one of those people. I think I'm pretty awesome. I don't understand. Like when people start talking about
that's called what? Ego, confidence,
egocentric. When people start saying, "Oh, I'm such a bad person," or "I have low self-esteem," how do you not look in the mirror and go, "You know what?"
Well, maybe they don't like what they see in the mirror.
What don't they like?
Well, in my case, fatness, baldness.
You have the body of a god.
Buddha.
Yeah. No. What? So what?
I'm fat.
So what?
I don't like being fat. It's gross.
Why is it gross about it?
Because I'm fat.
Wait a minute. Stop right there.
Oh, gosh.
You're not... Okay. I just had this thought.
Oh, gosh.
Just hit me. Okay, you keep using the term fat, and I'm not using that term anymore because it's fat shaming. And I've decided that I am trying to change this about myself. I'm no longer making fun of the most obvious things about you because that could be hurtful. Making fun of people's appearances is not right.
I believe it's called bullying.
Yes, and fat shaming, I'm stopping that. Instead, I'm going to make fun of the deep-seated issues that will strike you to your very core. Wait a minute, you find yourself unappealing?
Yes. I don't understand. I mean, I guess for someone like you can't understand, so it's hard to explain.
What do you mean? I'm super skinny.
I mean, for someone like you that you just got through saying you like what you see in the mirror.
I am.
Okay, well, it's hard for me to explain to you.
I'm not saying I'm perfect.
You seem to think you're pretty close to it.
No, I don't. I'm not. See, that's where you're missing the point.
Oh.
I'm not saying I'm the pinnacle of whatever. I'm just saying I don't mind what I look at.
I'm not too bad on the eyes.
No, it's not that even. It's just that I look at myself and I go, this looks like a person. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Like I'm just fine with it.
Well, that's good.
And you're not fine with yourself?
No, but it's my own fault because I've eaten and drinking myself to the shape I'm in.
Eating and drinking.
Pretty much.
But that does not mean that you can't be okay with yourself.
I mean, yeah, sure. There's all this pro body positivity, love yourself no matter what you look like. But when you're fat, and you feel bad generally.
But here's the thing, though. Here's my thing. What you're missing here is that body positivity thing isn't about just being okay with yourself. What it is not creating this vicious cycle of feeling bad about yourself and then reinforcing bad habits that just make you hate yourself more. It's kind of like you feel bad about yourself, you eat to be comforted, thus you gain weight. There's the circle.
The vicious circle of life.
Yeah, so the idea being, if you're okay with yourself and you're not hating on yourself, you then don't feel as bad, you're not as stressed, and you now have the mental energy of, rather than just hating on yourself, you can go make a change. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So there's no need to be all, oh, wish I could do this, wish you did. No, don't be hating on yourself. Be all right. Just be fine with yourself. And then if you want to change something, then change it.
Done.
Okay.
You fixed me.
I am. Great. This is what
In 5 minutes, you have fixed
what
me.
I like about myself. I give excellent advice. You know the one thing I don't like about myself?
What?
The fact that I wasn't invited on. Well, I was invited on.
You were,
board.
and I told him he's freaking busy as usual.
Somebody had a stroke, and I was over there taking care of them.
Jerry's saving the
I
world.
was taking care of somebody who had a massive
What's more important?
brain bleed.
What's more important to you?
I wish she could have just had
Being on our friend's podcast
She would
or
just
saving lives?
She just hung on just a little bit.
Just don't have that aneurysm quite yet.
Yeah. I'd listened to part of your episode because I can't listen to much of it without being in a rage at the fact that I'm not there.
No, I had a good time. He texted me on Facebook Messenger. I was like, hey, we're fixing to record like now. He's like, is Jerry available? I said, probably not. Let me text him. And sure enough, yeah, you're doing your thing.
I'm a busy
so
man.
We shot on there and it was very nice. We had nice conversations. It was good. Get this. Speaking about body positivity, we bought a little 10-foot by 30-inch pool.
I seen that.
It sits in the backyard. It's basically a large bathtub, but yet the water's nice and cool. Some friends came over, Deej and Char. I took my shirt off in front of them.
I know you sent me a picture of shirtless.
I said, yeah.
I did not appreciate
Check out these
that.
nips.
That was weird.
Like, look, I felt comfortable enough around my good friends to take my shirt off.
Thank you. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. Because I
am now burnt. My nipples are raw.
Well, that's a opening for snake rectum.
My nipples are raw.
Raw nipples.
You know what would make a good name for another band?
What?
Radioactive Hybrid Terror Pigs.
Oh, I heard about that. In Chernobyl?
No, Fukushima.
Oh, Fukushima. I'm sorry.
Or however you say that.
So
I'm not going to go the other possibly way you could say it. I'll go with Fukushima.
Have you ever been hog hunting? You're from the South.
No, I know people that do. I'm not a hunter. I don't like killing animals.
Okay, so let me preference this. Preface? What I say? Preface?
You say preference.
Preference?
Which makes no sense.
Well, I want to preference this.
Unless it's your preference that you say preference.
It is my preference that I say preference. To all of our
Go on
listeners,
with your preface.
In the South, we are inundated with wild hogs, and they greatly...
And not the movie starring John Travolta and Tim Allen. Who else was in that?
I believe... Pull it up. IMDb this. The actress in it was Melissa Tomei. My cousin Vinny.
Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, William H. Macy.
And?
See, that's how sexist Wikipedia is, because it just stopped right there.
Melissa Tomei. I can't
see the cast.
I can't say her name.
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa.
She was great in My Cousin Vinny.
Never seen it.
She won an Oscar, I believe.
I know. Cousin Vinny's one of those. It was big and popular when I was in school. Never saw it. It's just, I don't like lawyer movies.
It's not a lawyer movie. It's a comedy.
And I know it's a comedy. And I love comedies. And I love Joe Pesci. And that was Cobra Kai. He's in it.
Yeah. Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Macchio.
And
You've met your Macchio.
and he should be a lawyer, and that should be a slogan.
Ah.
Why do all the lawyers advertise against 18-wheeler companies? What have we done to you except kill people
You
in your
ran
cars?
some people over.
Ran a few. Well, they got in the way.
Well, everybody's afraid of 18-wheelers.
Well, I'll tell you what.
'Cause you
Most
have-
18-wheelers are very well trained. It's usually the four-wheeler's fault. That's what we call little cars.
You have like 4 to 5 times the wheels.
The people in little cars don't understand. We can't stop on a dime. And when you get in front of us and slam on your brakes, I'm sorry. You better call Ralph. You've met your Macchio.
Getting back to pigs. How
wait.
did we go from pigs to cousin
I thought
Vinny?
we were talking about my weight and self-confidence. What happened?
We were talking about wild hogs.
Wild hogs, that's right.
So,
Marissa Tomei.
we're Melissa Tomei.
Marissa!
That's what I said. So with hogs, they run rampant in the South, and they are so, what's the term? They procreate so viciously and at such a high rate, and their litters.
How do you procreate viciously?
I'm not going there. PG. This is a PG podcast. Send us emails at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. We're a family podcast. That there are so many.
We're the most edgy podcast there is.
There's so many innuendos in this podcast that you're just not sure.
We never say it. We don't even curse.
you.
We don't even curse. Many curses on you.
So with Melissa Tomei and my cousin Vinny, there is this scene that is, this scene happened to me. And my cousin Vinny, they go into this small town restaurant, and Joe Pesci's like, what is there to eat? And this guy gives him the menu. And on the menu, all it says is breakfast, lunch, dinner. And they literally just serve whatever they're making for breakfast. Like if you're there, I went with my father when I was young to some little town in northern Oklahoma, and that restaurant literally had that.
Tulsa.
No, it was some little town.
Oh.
That had Tulsa's the second largest city in Oklahoma.
I mean, Miami. There's a Miami, Oklahoma.
It's so little I don't even remember the name.
Valiant.
So when I went there, they actually had a restaurant where that's just what they did. Their menu was whatever we're serving for breakfast. And their breakfast was ham and eggs. And they brought out one of those oval dinner plates. One dinner plate. And it was covered. Could not see it, with one big piece of ham. Ooh. And then brought out another plate that was nothing but scrambled eggs. Like 3 people could not eat this. Nice. And that was their breakfast. And it was weird. Anyways, back to hogs.
Was it good?
It was no. Ham makes me think of wild hogs.
How do you mess up ham and eggs?
With hogs, you have to hunt them and get rid of them to save any type of the agriculture there in Texas and Oklahoma.
Because they rut too much.
So everybody has had
always rutting around
some sort of issue with hogs. So wild hogs are like a thing.
Do you have hog issues?
Yes.
Call Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio. You've met your match.
You've met your Macchio. Wild hogs go.
So yeah, you keep interrupting me. It is talking
That's what
about
I do.
Nothing. Well, just stop. This is why nobody.
And you don't tell me what to do.
This is why you're
our podcast.
You're a terrible host.
See,
why don't you just do?
Because I'm just tossing. Just go. Just ignore me and go. If you listen to really good improv podcasts, they just roll with it. Just go.
Yeah, but
you don't have to stop and just
sucks.
You suck.
Your improv sucks.
Go.
Your improv sucks worse than Melissa Tomei. Melissa Tomei. She hasn't done a lot.
You don't even know. And you're saying her name wrong every time. And you sound like a fool.
Spider-Man's mom. She's Tom Hiddleston's... No, who's the kid that plays Spider-Man?
Everything you say is wrong.
No, she's the little junior Tobey Maguire.
Tom Hiddleston is Loki.
They're all heroes in my book. Heroes.
They're all gyros.
Heroes, gyros. They're all heroes in my book.
Lamb and PETA in my book.
I marvel at them all.
You're so wrong.
What's the kid's name? That's the Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
No, the younger one.
Andrew Garfield.
No, I like him, but the other one, he's my favorite.
Matthew McConaughey.
The new one. You can't think of his name.
No, I can't. Hold on. Charday. Yeah? What's the name of the new Spider-Man guy? His real life name. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Thanks, Sharday.
I wonder if he's Dutch.
I don't know, but he's always wearing wooden shoes.
So, with all the wild hogs that go places in Texas or all over the place, people have to hunt them, shoot them constantly. I've forgotten why we're talking
We don't
about.
have to.
You have to, or they'll.
I'm not walking around hunting and shooting wild hogs.
But there's people that's all they do. They poison them. They find the.
I know people that's that's their job.
That's all they have to, because they're so numerous. And if it wasn't for that, we would be overrun with hogs.
Wild hogs breed like rabbits.
Yes, they literally do. They have large
litters,
and I don't know if that's litters.
Pups.
I don't know what you would call
herds.
Look that up.
Flock.
No, you're using terms. You do know those are completely wrong. Like herds are not.
That's what I heard.
No, it's not. They're not the birth of the babies. That's a grouping. There are completely different types of nomenclature for groupings, and also various terms for what is produced by whatever.
It says litter.
The litter. There you go. That's what I mean. So it's like that.
So the average is between 5 and 6 pigs per litter.
So, and they can do it like 4 times a year. They'll have like 4 or 5 litters a year.
They do it 4 to 5 times a year.
They have like 4 or 5 times of litters a year. So that's like, like 20 hogs out of just one. So there you go. That's why. Why are we talking about hunting hogs?
Are they monogamous? Monogamous?
All I know is that all male hogs.
Monogamous?
All I know. I would assume that they're not, because we all know all male hogs are pigs.
All men are pigs.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of, speaking of shooting and guns, have you ever heard of like a big gun strapped to your side, a hog leg? Mm-hmm. What is a hog leg? Is that like a 357 Magnum Dirty Harry, or is it like a sawed-off mini shotgun?
Dirty Harry was a 44 Magnum.
Oh. 45. They make 45s. Why is he going 1 centimeter smaller?
That's not. You
millimeter.
You're making a fool of yourself. That's not what that means.
That's what I'm here for.
That's not what that means.
What does it mean?
Just because.
What's the difference between a 44 Magnum and a 45?
Much. I'll show you.
Tell me.
All right.
I thought it was the size of the bullet.
Yes, but just because one number is bigger than the other does not mean that the bullet's bigger. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so like, you know what a 22 is, right?
Yes.
Is a 22 bigger or smaller than a 9 millimeter?
A 22 is very small.
Right. But its numbers bigger than...
Is it 22? No, a 22 is not... A 22 is not bigger than 45.
But it's much... Yeah, so it's not. But it's like a 9 millimeter, though.
Oh, you're saying 9 millimeter. Well, that's 0.9, though.
No.
Is it 0.09?
Nope. See?
It's 9 millimeters of a bullet?
See? Yes.
Is that the width?
I think it has something to do with diameter. So you're talking about millimeters, talking about calibers. There's different measurements.
Oh.
So yeah, just because
so a 50 cal
is a caliber. Yes, a 50 caliber is larger than a 45.
So is a 45 talking about caliber or millimeters?
Yes, 45 is caliber.
So you're saying to me, your words to me are saying, I can carry with me a 45 caliber pistol when a 50 cal sniper rifle, which is just 0.05 more, is massive.
Massive.
That's crazy. Yes. How big is a caliber? 2 inches?
No. There's actually the measurements of the bullets.
We need your dad.
Yeah, it's like
I'm here, boy. What's the question?
Because bullets are so different. Like the way that they measure them, the diameters, and there's of course somebody who.
Where's my daughter?
Somebody.
Jerry, he was disappointed in me.
But like no,
he can't even tell you the difference.
The 9 millimeters and all that stuff. But no, you sidetracked me on this. What are you talking about? Like dirty hog leg.
What's a hog leg?
I would just assume that it is a gun that's capable of killing a hog. Or it could have to do with the leather holster that is utilized probably out of the hide of the hog.
Google says a large revolver or a large marijuana cigarette.
Okay. Well, I know what it is.
Maybe it's just a cigar-sized doobie.
You didn't answer.
You're carrying it with you.
You didn't answer your question. You're just coming
What's a hog leg?
I know what a hog leg is. I told you what a hog leg is.
You said you didn't know.
No, I know what a hog leg is. I told you what a hog leg is. You're asking why is it called that?
Okay. No. What was the 2-part question then? What is it and why is it called that?
It's a big gun.
A large revolver.
Right.
Well, I was wondering if it was necessarily a sawed-off shotgun.
No.
Okay, so then why is it called a hog leg?
I don't know. I'm assuming that it's called a hog leg because, let's see. Okay, why are they called a hog leg? I'll just look it up for you because this is some weird thing. It's a hog leg was used to refer to a Colt, Walker, or similar revolver. The term is still often used. Often interchanged with mare's leg. I have never heard of that.
Mayor of Easttown.
Never heard that. I always thought mare's leg referred to a shortened shotgun. No, I have no clue why that is. Apparently, a lot of people don't know. I think it's just a slang term that they had back in the day.
It's been lost in time.
Lost in time. Anyways, no, why are you talking about guns? Why are you asking me all these questions?
You're the one talking about hunting wild hogs.
No, I was discussing hogs. You brought it up.
You can't blame it on me.
You keep bringing
You said wild hogs. Speaking of wild hogs, blah, blah, blah. People do that for sport around here
Don't do
and
it for
jobs.
sport. It's a job. Difference.
Okay.
It's a necessity to maintain the agricultural thing.
Either way, radioactive hybrid terrapigs are a thing in Fukushima. And it said in this article, it called them indestructible. I kind of doubt that phrasing.
What I mean by indestructible.
I was trying to read the article to find out, and it really didn't say. That would make it look like they're invincible. They're going to turn into
Journalism
these giant
is awful. Like everybody uses.
I mean, it's just clickbait, but I clicked it from theregister.com.
Radioactive hogs. What is that?
Well, it says it's because, like you said, in around Phoenix, Arizona, Chernobyl, where the stuff happened.
Phoenix, Arizona.
The radiation.
What happened in Phoenix?
That's where they do all the testing.
Oh, okay. I see what you're going.
So, actually, that's Nevada, Las Vegas.
I'm just going with you.
So in Chernobyl, yeah, so all this radioactive stuff happens. The people leave because they don't want to die, even though many did. When the people leave, it's like the earth kind of just does this thing, and wildness, all these animals come back, and flowers and plants and animals. And so apparently that's happened with some of the areas of Fukushima.
And now they have radioactive pigs.
And now there's radioactive hybrid terrapigs.
So FYI, stay out of Fukushima until they get that mess.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. All right. So that's,
unless you want a hog leg.
That's your best banter, is you're telling me.
I didn't say any banter. I just read an article. You told me you were coming with a banter this episode.
No, I did not.
You most certainly did too. Before we started recording, you said, "You got anything?" I said, "Not. I mean, I've got stuff, but you do your thing." And you said, "I got this.
I do have this. I have it.
Give me some good banter now. Do it."
I have been. The past 10 minutes has been all my banter.
I'm being silent so as to not interrupt. Go.
I've done it already. I'm out of banter. Done my best.
Well, we have some emails.
Oh,
Jerry,
God. People quit sending us emails.
Well, then stop asking.
People always send us emails. Who's sending us emails now?
Jeff Melanoma said that my Predator trill was spot on. And he said it requires lots of skill to do that. And
Jeff
some people can't do it.
Melanoma.
That's what he said.
That's not his name. Jeff Melanoma.
Oh.
Allow me to see the uvula is an important articulator for some speech sounds in certain languages. And Gabi inadvertently illustrated this with his little Chewbacca.
He says
Predator
inadvertently.
sound.
I did that on purpose.
That was an epic
porpoise.
Uvula trill, Gabi.
You're welcome.
I'm sure you know that some languages like Spanish and Thai have a alveolar trill, the rolling of the R, which is much easier, but the uvular trill is hard. I'm a linguist who has formally studied phonics and phonology, and I can't even do that one. Wow. I love it when something weird happens on this podcast and some person who happens to be an expert writes in.
An expert in the field of uvulas.
I can't help but notice that your uvula sounds like it's vibrating. And then I like that.
As a linguist, I wonder if he's smart and cunning.
Eric sent something. Eric Hammett. Ham. Get
Goes
it?
right along with it.
He's right there with the pigs. We talked about. No, wait. We've already talked about him. We did him earlier when we were talking about his top 10. He says, "Wait, y'all don't like El Grande?" Of course we don't like El Grande.
But did we discuss it on the podcast?
We've already discussed it. Yeah, we discussed it last time. You don't remember anything. We've already discussed that. No, we don't like El Grande. It's been murdered. We need to do a podcast.
Several times over.
We need to do a podcast on everything that's been murdered.
Yes, we should call it a Dice Tower Top 10 games that have been murdered.
Brilliant!
I'll send you the link. I may look and sound a little different. You'll recognize me with a hat.
Oh, yes. No, their opinion. I don't know their opinion on. I haven't watched.
They've done a top 10 on games that have murdered other games.
So you can't do one because they did one?
I'm not saying anything. I just was acknowledging the fact that it's been done.
Well, what hasn't been done?
Nothing under the sun is
Correct.
new.
So yeah,
just like King Solomon said.
Yeah. So you have to do your.
We're still looking for his mines, by the way.
You have to do his own thing. You got to do your own thing. There's also the game.
Me and Richard Chamberlain.
Gateway Network. Let's see what they sent us. Oh, they're just telling us to remind people you should go to gatewaynetwork.com and listen to other people.
Check out the Gateway Network. There's other podcasts such as Superboard Sunday, Date Night Dice, and others.
What about the Sheer Boredom guy?
He does many YouTube videos. He has a nice one called Board Vengers where he has on lots of different guests. I think there's like 9 people on at a time. It's very nice.
I should come on that because I got to one-up you for going on.
Invite yourself.
I am.
You can message him.
I'll do something
He's
else.
part of the network, so we're all like best friends.
I've been asking We're Not Wizards to let me come on.
What's he said?
He's not responding. So I'm going to slightly shame him. Richard.
Don't do that to Tricky.
I want to go on because, it's like that's my type of conversation.
Well, get him.
Low-key, serious. We can talk about a hot topic and hot topics.
The place in the mall?
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever been there.
They sell all very dark clothing.
Do you see that Richard being like the hot topic guy?
Oh, yes.
He got piercings everywhere and he's brooding. Sits up there in his little room making YouTube videos. Sad, lonely, depressed little man.
Listening to Metallica on loop. What's a good emo band?
I don't listen to emo. Well, I'll take that back. Was Green Day considered emo?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I like them for
emo,
a little bit.
They're not punk, are they?
They may have been slightly punk. I don't do emo.
I think... I don't know. I don't know what an emo band is. Is that just somebody that plays emotional music? Isn't all music emotional?
No, not all music's emotional. Nobody's out there.
Oh, I know who's emo.
Getting weirded out by Smash Mouth.
Oh my God. There's a band that I specifically recognize as emo.
Breaking Benjamin.
Like Death Cab for Cutie. Breaking Benjamin probably could be emo.
Death Cab for Cutie.
No, they're the guy. He's the guy that wore the top hat.
Oh, the dude that did the Mr. Brightside.
I don't think they're emo. No, these guys. He wore a top hat. They wore all black. I can't think of the name. Just go on.
I have no clue.
I'll go back to
I don't listen to emo stuff because I listen to quality music. And that's not one of them. I don't know. I have no clue. I know no emo bands.
Panic at the Disco. That's who I was thinking of. Panic at the Disco.
They're emo.
Yes. Dashboard Confessional. Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is interesting. So, nations.
Okay. I've been waiting for this.
You waiting?
I've been waiting for this story that you said you were going to tell.
There's 3 stories, actually.
Okay. Give me the first one.
Nations.
Actually, give me the third one first.
The board game, which is a game that I will hard merge this into games that murdered other games. So, nations killed through the ages. I don't care what anybody says. Send your hate mail to boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
No, but don't. Jerry hates email.
I hate it, but do it. Explain to me why Through the Ages is better than Nations or even comparable.
Which one came first?
The chicken.
Would the chicken be Through the Ages?
Yes.
Then that's probably why everybody thinks it's the best, because that's how people tend to do.
It was also designed by Vlaadl Chvátil.
Just like El Grande, it's been overdone already. It's been done already. It's been done better.
So
Through the Ages has been done better in Nations.
Vlaadl Chvátil, though, was like a really big designer at the time, I think. And still is in a lot of ways. So with Nations, though, which we've done a podcast on, it's a game that I really respect. It's got a really nice solo to it. It scales well. It's a civilization / engine building game. This weird type of buying cards from this tableau and placing them on your player board, and then having to manage all these specific resources and deciding where you're going to go and how your civilization is going to improve either through its knowledge or its stability or its warfare. It's just very nice. Clicks a lot of buttons for me. Nations is a special game for me, and I told you about this for 3 things. Number 1, back in the day when I used to listen to board game content creators, media people other than just myself, there was this little group called Shut Up and Sit Down, and I had discovered them because they were like the punk emo band alternative to the Dice Tower. So I was watching Shut Up and Sit Down back when they were on Vimeo or whatever it was back in the day. They then sort of kind of took off, got a little bit bigger, and they did an episode on 2 games at the same time. One was Nations, and the other was the Portal games. The other game was called Imperial Settlers. They were comparing them both because they're both cards. They're both engine kind of building. They're both purport to be kind of like a nation building game. And they were going about how vicious and they just going back and forth between the two. And they kind of knocked on Nation because it was kind of drab and, kind of like not very colorful, but yet Imperial Settlers was, and back and forth. I ended up buying both of those games because they both had very similar but yet different mechanisms. And interestingly enough, Imperial Settlers, I'm sure you know by now, is that game just kind of wore out on me. It's a fine game. I know a lot of people like it. I don't like it. It's another card game that has basically been revamped. The 51st States was the first one. 51st States was better, and even that I'm kind of done with. Nations, however, held true and still holds true. So not only Nations is it a great civilization game in terms of its very top-down abstract view of it, to me it kills through the ages. And this game of Nations, not only from discovering it from Shut Up and Sit Down, led me to discover another content creator.
Another one?
Another one. So,
Gubby.
Nations.
You have to say your name after you say that.
Rustan Harkinson. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the lead designer of Nations. I was going down this wormhole of trying to figure out how a board game is designed, and I was listening to various podcasts where they would interview designers. And of course, I had just fell in love with Nations, so I was trying to find out more about this particular.
That's how you discovered Richard.
That's how I discovered Richard.
Oh.
The first episode of We're Not Wizards that I'd ever listened to is where he interviews this designer. And it's 2 hours of them just talking back and forth. And it was exactly the type of podcast that I enjoyed. It's a long form and talking about just various aspects of the game and design process and so forth. And I was very excited to hear last year that they're supposed to be redoing Nations. They're supposed to be having another edition come out. That and the dice game. To not only just fix some of the artwork. What was that about?
The new revamped games. It's like Nations is fine.
No. They revamp them because, one, there's been so many expansions and various things with it. Plus, the artwork on it's kind of old. Like, I like new editions of games because it
but then it like makes the one I've already bought and played now defunct because we'll never play it again if we buy the new edition.
No, it doesn't. Why would we buy the new edition?
Well, then why do you like them? If you're not going to buy it, why are you interested in the new edition?
Because it helps other people come to know the game.
Oh, you're thinking about other people.
Yes, because a lot of people are like yourself.
I'm thinking of myself.
A lot of people are like yourself who just like flashy things.
I do love flashy
things. And if you see Nations,
I also like the Flash.
You'll never buy it because it looks drab. There's not a lot going on with it. When you look at the box, the card art, a lot about it. And it needs a new edition with better iconology.
I think they fashioned the Queen Elizabeth. Is that who that's supposed to be?
Nope.
Who is that?
It's Marie Curie.
Marie Curie. I didn't even see her in the game.
She has a lot to do with radiation. She's probably out there figuring out how to beat them
Hybrid
pigs.
terror pigs.
Terror
I
pigs.
need to get her on that.
So, Nations. Wonderful game. We've played it again because we're prepping for our top 10. And it just...
25, you said.
Oh, whatever. 25, 10, whatever. It just now dawns on me. When you have games like Nation, or Nations, that do what they do so well, it's easy for other games to come along and try to steal their thunder and try to revamp and redesign. And that's why you get a lot of, I don't want to call it plagiarism, but a lot of the same mechanisms or the same games being remade over and over and over again. They're just variations on the same tune, so to speak. And Nations is one game where I have not really found anything quite like it, besides Through the Ages, which came previously before it, which I just don't. I think Nations does what it does better. And I would just say that in terms of older games, or games that don't get the respect that they deserve, Nations, Eclipse, things of this nature have always been up there with me. I say Eclipse gets its respect now because they've had another edition of it. And now more people are buying it. And now more people are playing it. And the reason that people are playing it is because they have a fancy new edition with minis and player aids and things of that nature. So I just think it's sad that sometimes these old drab games have to have a new coat slapped on them to get people interested in them.
Is it going to be Nations 2.0 or is it going to be like a new sci-fi version of Nations or something?
No. It's just another edition. It's just another edition of it.
Are there any good sci-fi games like Nations?
Well, you mean like card-based?
Yeah, like a empire-building card game. I mean, I know there's Eclipse, but they're like building ships and fighting.
Was there Core Worlds, which I've never played? I've heard a lot of people speak highly of it.
That's a deck builder, ain't it?
Well, yeah, I think so. But I mean, I'm not, Nations is certainly not a deck builder. It's an engine builder. But I'm sure there's many sci-fi type games out there that have a similar theme or similar mechanisms.
What was that one space game that was like, I think it's by Portal, but it was like Imperial Settlers, but you didn't like it.
It was Imperial Settlers. It was
Artifacts or space?
Yeah, Artifacts or
Space?
Yeah, it was Imperial Settlers. It's this revamped space version of Imperial Settlers. This is exactly.
But you didn't like it.
Yeah, I hated it. It took Imperial Settlers and made it a little more complicated.
Oh.
It's like, why do I want
that?
this? I don't need that. I hate that. And that's another good example of taking a game and just retheming it and adding some stuff to it and then going, here you go. And I don't like that at all. I don't like games that are unnecessarily complicated.
That's why I like Nations, because when you break it open, you start, like any game you start off with, it appears as if it's going to be somewhat daunting, but it is a super simple game.
It's very accessible for what it is. And I think that the next edition of it, I think will necessarily be the third edition of it, will be a better rule book, a little bit cleaner design, a little bit better icons. I think it'll be a great experience. And they announced it in 2020.
I can't wait.
So I suspect it will be good. So if you're looking for a great game, you might just hold off because Nations might be coming around back. That's one that I highly recommend.
You kind of went into your Matthew McConaughey voice just then.
I was just thinking about Nations. I was wondering who's going to be on the cover. The old one's got Lincoln on it.
The new one's going to be
that's the Lincoln.
Obama.
Make me think of Matthew McConaughey. Lincoln
Elon
lawyer.
Musk.
It's Lincoln lawyer. There's a great show.
Matthew McConaughey.
There's a great show.
What?
Where you have Lincoln and Matthew McConaughey's his lawyer, and it's like a period piece. You really shouldn't go to the theater tonight.
It's going to be a bad show. You don't even bother watching it anyway.
We're going to watch Interstellar.
Actually, you think Mary Todd was faithful to Lincoln all those years?
She has mental illness. Did you not watch Daniel Day-Lewis?
No. I mean, I did, but I didn't care for it.
You didn't like Lincoln?
No. It's long and boring.
No, it was great.
No. Not my style.
I swear. And it made me so mad because you're like, let's go watch F9.
Oh, now we're talking.
That's not, it's stupid.
Oh my God.
They go into
F9
space.
is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
it
but-
will be.
No,
it will be amazing. I can't wait.
What's amazing about
Can't
it?
wait to get back to my family.
It's not your family.
I'm going to be right back in there with them, Dom.
They're not your family.
I'm in there with you, bruh.
I don't like you.
Hit the nose.
They don't do nothing. I'm going to send you this. I'm going to send you this YouTube video where there's this guy that just rants and raves about how movies have turned into nothing but people just driving fast, and why is that a superpower? Like that's like the dumbest thing ever. Is like we've somehow.
I believe Michael Knight started that.
Even he just drove fast, but he at least had a reason. He had a computer. He had a car that did stuff.
Dun, 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 dun.
Not like some rapper who's going to help you strap a rocket onto your Chevelle and try to go into space.
Sounds amazing.
Stupid.
Pontiac Fiero, by the way.
Stupid.
Which I grew up with. And used to think they were the coolest cars ever.
Stupid.
Didn't realize they're pieces of junks.
Stupid.
Pieces of junks? Pieces of junk.
Now, this is a good question for you. You ponder this. What would make F9 bad? What would make you say this show sucks?
Everybody dying.
No. I'm not saying the ending. I'm saying the quality of the show. I think that would actually make the show good if everybody died. Have like an epic battle and it end
they all accidentally drink gasoline
or something like that. No, I'm saying it's like they
give me oxygen. They inhale NOS instead.
No, I'm
then
just
they
saying,
get super high.
What would make the show suck to you?
I don't know. They know what they're doing and they know their audience. And Justin Lin has been doing it for 4 movies now. So it's
what's the audience?
People that just like fun, fast cars, family. I'm a family man. What can I say?
That show has nothing to do with family.
Oh, it's all about family.
Has nothing to do with family.
You just don't get it because you're not part of it.
No, it has nothing to do with family.
You're not part of it.
If it had to do with family, they would sit down and be with their family.
They sit down in the backyard and have barbecues.
That is not
And you
family.
can have anything you want as long as it's a Corona.
That's not family.
You don't know
They go
family.
off and they go
You've
around
never
the world.
experienced it.
No, it's
because
stupid.
you're happy by yourself.
It's stupid.
You're isolationist. You like to be
not.
alone.
I am not.
You
I'm
love
just saying,
to be alone.
You have.
You just don't get it. You
I
don't
know
get
this
the
is
vibe.
my point. You have been indoctrinated by the show that you can't even come up or surmise something that would make it bad.
Because I don't have to. Why are you're always wanting me to do something for you when I don't have to?
No, I'm saying you won't because nothing that they could put this on anything and you would think it good.
It's a formula that I enjoy, yes.
What's the formula though?
Fast cars, racing, good music, pretty people. That's pretty much it.
I just don't understand it.
You don't have to
get it.
But it's a worldwide blockbuster, so I'm not by myself.
No, I'm not arguing that. I don't get it. I simply
you're not
don't
the audience.
understand.
You go watch Lincoln. I'll go watch F9.
I know, but I don't understand why there are so many people
understand.
enjoy that mess.
I don't understand how you look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Well, it's because I don't watch F9. I don't watch crappy films.
How dare you?
You would be a lot better off if you didn't watch all these crappy films.
No.
Be a little more introspective.
Don makes me feel better.
No,
he
he
accepts
doesn't.
me for who I am, unlike you.
Don does not accept anybody for who he is.
Whatever, I cut off the sleeves of my shirt just to fit in.
Family.
I've got some reggaeton going on. We're good to go.
This show's awful. Absolutely.
Speaking of bad shows, that's going to do it for this one.
God almighty.
What are we going to talk about? Let's see. We've got so many banked now.
Who knows?
I don't know what we're going to discuss.
People don't care what we're going to talk about next.
That's true.
Never mind.
Just forget.
Just never mind.
Just never mind.
Just tuned in.
Tune in next week.
Who knows?
I'm Gabi.
There might be a show.
That's Jerry.
Who knows?
Bye-bye.